Hi everybody. You know, things get a little weird sometimes. Let me try and explain. I'm trying to figure out how I went from this to other departments. Everything started out good. I better explain. But my dog's growling at me. Pancake, what's wrong? Pancake, stop it! It's me! I have got to get my teeth fixed. Especially right there. Pancake, it's me! It's me! Stop it! Let us in! Get away from my door! Get away from my door! Oh God. Oh God. I had to, well, I don't want to say what I had to do, but you can guess. Look at this damn thing. God. It was reaching in through the door. Look, you stay away. It's times like this when people turn towards a higher power. You may be wondering how this all began. Let me try and explain. Here's a copy of my birth certificate. It's old. Oh. Here, wait. Oh, yeah. I sent away for this one. Is this me? Yeah. That's me. There's my mom, there's my dad. Filing date, C number. Oh boy. Oh. It evolved. My dad met my mom in a building called the Orpheum Building, I think. That was before I was born. Well, one thing led to another. Stay away from my door! My life is flashing behind. And Dad met my mom, and they got married, and there I am. Thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. I really do. There's my dad and mom together looking over my little crib. Thank you, you guys. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Look at my dad watching over me. Thank you, Dad. What a nice guy. My dad was that kind of guy. He could row a boat. That's him in a boat. He was in the Navy, too, but I don't want to get too far ahead of this. Let's see, 49. Oh, he was in the Navy before he took this picture. Now, I heard stories he was on a battleship or an aircraft carrier in World War II. I think he was a fireman, and I heard that he jumped off the deck of a ship to save a man that went over in a plane, so it must have been an aircraft carrier. Unless some guy tried to land on a destroyer or something. Well, years passed, and my dad got old. Before he got old, he came down to visit me. Well, he got married, and my mom and him got divorced, and he had another son. There's Rory Calhoun, the actor, I think, with my dad. My dad's in the middle picture there. The cowboy hat guy is Rory Calhoun. There's my dad's new wife and his son, Terrence Sanford. They came down years later to visit me. That's the picture I snapped of my dad getting off the plane in International Airport. I just popped up and took his picture. There's his daughter. Can't see his son. Oh, maybe that's Terrence in the back. He got older. Hi, Dad. We have a kind of resemblance. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, I got that chin. And that's him. That's that chin in a way. It's kind of like the same kind of smile. Him. Me. Before this goes too far, well, anyway, I later on grew my hair out. Grew a mustache. Whoops. Yeah, I had short hair. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of looked like the Three Musketeers there. Yeah. I had a few girlfriends. But, you know, there's one of them, there's the other one. But before I met them, way back when, I met another girl. Yeah. I met a girl named, I'm not even going to say her name. Yeah, Rose. And we had a little girl named Tracy. I loved Tracy. She was a nice little girl. There she is again on a blanket. Hi, Tracy. She evolved. Started sliding down slides at a Culver pool in Culver City. Lost a tooth. Her mom and I parted. It's a sad story why we parted. It really is. I look at it that she kind of deserted me. That's the way I look at it. There's Tracy and my mom. Tracy's looking up in the air saying, "Why, Mom? Why did you desert Dad?" I don't know. There she was. There's a picture of her. But anyway, things happen in marriages. Well, long story short, I took Tracy to the museum. My mom went along sometimes. Tracy climbing the slide again. And I had a van. And I had a real nice house. Yeah, I cut my hair then and tried to stay clean cut. There's Tracy sitting in a little chair at my house. Yeah. So there I am sitting in the garden contemplating what to do with my umbrella. So I tried to visit Tracy, but she moved in with her mother. There she is again. Hi, Trace. We had a good time. Then she grew older. There she is years later. Look at that big girl. She's much older. She's... Oh. So my mom went through the years with me, helped me raise Tracy a little bit, and then, well, that's little me again, riding my little horse. Oh well. There's me again with Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie in the background. I was happy then. Happy. Pancake. Pancake, it's me. It's me. You recognize me, don't you? Come on. Come on, come here. Come here. Don't be afraid. Pancake, come here. Come on. Oh, God, he's afraid of me. There's nothing wrong with me. I need some teeth. I need some dental work. Come on, you guys. So, that was me with little Tracy. I grew a beard later on, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Now I have facial hair. I didn't know I was bitten by something or something, that's all. Maybe up there in the mountains. I don't know what came over me. There's a picture of Tracy, me, and her mother hiding behind glasses and hiding behind Tracy. She's the woman that kind of abandoned me. That's okay. That's okay. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I know there's only one way out of this mess right now, and that's for me to initiate the last one. When I was younger, I was into rocketry. Here is a picture of me with the last one. I have since made other ones, believe me. Here's another picture, me. The first rockets were experimental. Now these creatures are coming closer and closer to me. The only thing I can see, I gotta calm down, the only thing I can see is to retaliate. A first strike. I've warned them. I've told them to get back. They don't listen. They keep coming. And as I've always said, there's only one thing that they understand. Time moved on. I moved from gentle Stephen to Battle Bird. Bad things had happened to me. Deserted, left to fend for myself, wife gone. You know what it was is I should have listened to my mother. Back then I grew my hair long. Just was a kind of a freelance kind of guy after I was alone, no wife. I wandered the streets like a fool, trying to get educated, trying to search for God. My mother tried to warn me. That's me on the right with the hairy face. She warned me. She told me of the dangers. I did not listen. Thanks, Mom. I should have listened to you. I swear to God, I should have listened to you. You were right. You were right. I should have listened to my dad, too. Dad, you were right. You told me what to do. You told me a couple good professions to get into. Did I listen? You know, I tried to, Dad. I tried to get into real estate. I studied it. Water rights, riparian rights, trust deeds, all that stuff. I almost got my real estate license. I swear to you, Dad. And I was thinking of being a truck driver, too. You mentioned that might be cool. I tried that. I got a truck. Look, Dad. The nebulas. I sought my future. So I listened to you so far, Dad. You see? And then, whoa. You know, I went up in the mountains with a girl. By then, I had a beard. which I shaved. And then these things started to come at me, into my life. Now, I was not ready for these kind of things. I tried to get away from them. I used the weapons at hand. Closer they came. Closer. Once again, I knew that there's only one thing that they understand. After dealing with creatures, after suffering, I was blessed. I met a girl, the light of my life. Something magical, something sparkling in her eyes. I saw her coming out of a store. We bumped into each other practically. I invited her back to my truck. It was love at first sight. I swear to you, we were swept away in the truck, in the Nebulous. Thank God. Thank you again, Dad, for telling me to get a truck. I met this beautiful girl. Yeah, I didn't even know. I had no idea I'd fall so deeply in love with her. And then I went to work, and she wasn't there, and I searched for her, and she was gone. Then I found her again, and we stayed together, and then she was gone again. And I searched for her again. I'd go to work and hunt her down. And she broke 2 arms in an accident walking my dog after I found her. Well, it was a hit and run. And I wrote San Francisco and I told them, special victims. I said, is there a fund to help her? Nothing. So there we were. And then, it's so confusing. It's so confusing. My life is flashing before my eyes. Before I met that other girl, I met this girl. Jeanette. Jeanette. I'm not forgetting you. You thought I'd forget you? Of course not. We went together. We got married. We fell in love. It was just like the third girl. The first one ended horribly. The second one, I'm getting confused in my old age. Well, long story short, I don't know how much time I have left. Jeanette and I bought a van. We got married, had a baby. I got a job at Everest and Jennings. I worked there for 10 years. Every year, they'd give me 2 weeks off and a vacation. So I bought some desert property. I bought 2.5 acres. I sunk a lot of money into that, and I owned it outright, completely. I had the trust deed in my name. No encumbrances. I learned that from you, Dad, when you told me to go into real estate. No encumbrances, no clouds. There's another real estate word. That means liens or anything. So that was my property with Lynette. Hi, Lynette. There's a picture of me and Richard, back when Lynette was born. And that's his little son there. Oh, Richard, my good friend. We had some trouble, though. I won't go into that. We went out to the desert. You were firing your rifle close by me. I thought I wasn't going to make it. But we survived. We survived. Ah, little Lynette. I love you, Lynette. She got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I experimented with my rockets more and more. There's another rocket. And there's another rocket. And there's a picture of me and Jeanette. And Lynette holding the rocket. Dangerous, but it wasn't ready to destroy yet. I prayed towards heaven to give me the guidance to defend my family and hold them together so it wouldn't end disastrously. But the second marriage and message of doom ended disastrously. Wife number 2 actually heard stories that she could get money if she divorced me. What was it called again? Alimony or something. Her friends filled her head full of greed. So there goes the property. She moved into her own place. I got her a place in Venice because she was saying, I need a place. We can't be together. She told the social worker I didn't bring in food. I brought in $1,000 and laid it on the table and said, I'm making great money. You should see my pay stubs. I was working overtime, 12-hour shifts. But that wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough for Jeanette. She wanted more. More. She told them I didn't bring in food. There's her eating a pork chop. Well, that's the way it crumbles. Well, I moved back to West L.A., and that's when I met Ann. Do you want proof? There she is. There's her license. There's no denying it. There's me. So, we fell in love. We got married. We had a child. That's the way it goes. Guess what? We had 2 children. We were in love. I lost her and found her, and we prospered. I was still working at Everest & Jennings, the wheelchair manufacturing company in Camarillo then. Well, one thing led to another, and another. We had a 3rd child. Lo and behold, I was blessed. Blessed indeed. Sandra, Eve, and that's little Jason in the middle. Yep. I was so happy. Grew my mustache back, didn't I? I don't want to forget the girlfriend I had in between because I loved her. But I was hit by a car in a gas station. A car backed up and hit me. I loved that girl very much, but I was in a narco gas station working at Voishan Aerospace, and this car backed up into me. A gentleman by the name of Lawrence in an orange Carmen Ghia smashed into me as I was walking backwards. Gone was the girl of my dreams. Sherry, please, never think I would forget you. So Ann and I used to go to movies, just like Jeanette and I used to go to drive-in movies. We'd go right here to the Studio Drive-In that was on Sepulveda Boulevard. We'd go, we'd have fun. My mom was with us. My dog, Co-Dog, was with us. A nice dog. He loved my mom. He loved the kids. He protected them. You kids used to hang on Co-Dog's hair. You know what happened to Co-Dog? I saved him when I was with wife number 2. And he stayed with me through wife number 3. And we were up in the mountains. And I was laying back in my swimming suit with Ann and my mom. And all of a sudden I heard my dog barking. Barking. And I looked over at my left foot. There at my left foot was a rattlesnake. Thank you, Co-Dog. You saved my life. I never would have made it down the mountains if the rattlesnake had bitten me. Thank you, good dog. I saved you from the dog shelter and you saved my life. Thank God. I love you, Co-Dog. Pancake, I love you too. Don't you feel bad. Kodog was a brave dog. And this dog, Pancake, he saved my life. I was working on my stun gun and it went off, and Pancake jumped into my lap to save me. You thought it was a snake too, didn't you? And I gave Pancake the Medal of Honor. Come here, boy. The Medal of Honor. Because you saved my life from that stun gun. Yes, you did. So there I was. Seemed like my life was just meant to be on the rocks. I don't know. Things went awry. These creatures, call them what you will. I tried to catch photographs of them every now and then. They'd pop up at the strangest times. I, at one time, called them frogs. My dog and I, we captured one. I severed its head and tried to dissect it. Kodog helped me capture it. I got a gold medal for that. It's around my neck right there. That's a Canadian maple leaf, 1 ounce. I was proud of that medal. I now have 10. There I am again with that same gold medal. If you can see the Canadian, that the Queen is on it. On the back is a Canadian maple leaf. Little did I know what would happen in the future. I shaved my face, tried to play it cool, bought a motorcycle. Ann and I drove around on that motorcycle. My mom would babysit the 3 kids. You know, most movies end with credits. I have to give credit here to my grandmother. There she is. Ada Night Bell. It's a black and white photo, but she had red hair, long flowing red hair from what I understand. Had 12 kids. My mom and 5 girls and 5 boys. Thanks, Grandma. Couldn't have created these things without you. Little foolish me and my guitar, playing away, never realizing that down the road doom would approach. But I was ready. I grew my beard. I got my rifle, my truck, my CB radio, my pistol, my dog, Kodog, and we faced danger. We faced it. I'm not fooling around. I mean it. I wanted to get a job as a security guard, so I did. I got this guard card. There's a photocopy of it. It's from the Bureau of Security and Investigation Service, 400 North Street, Suite 3040, Sacramento, California. Additional permit was required to carry a firearm. That was my post office box back then. The kids were young. We had this camper. We had 5 campers. We had the Nebulous, and this one, the Spear, and Oh, yes. Oh, yes, this one. What is the name? Oh, my God. The Hornet. That's right. Oh, yes. Ann and I spent some good times in there. All was not perfect. We had another child. Her name was Lillian. I took Ann to the Sherwood Trumbull Medical Building near the Brotman Memorial Hospital on Venice Boulevard. We had one of those things where they look at it with a camera, look at the child. What the heck is the name of that again? And then, when we came home, and Ann sat on the toilet, and lo and behold, her water bag descended. I called the paramedics. They came out. They stabbed the water bag. They weren't supposed to. They thought the baby was drowning in amniotic fluid. She was 6 months. A fetus of 6 months old. It was in August. And she was born August 31st. She survived in Westwood Hospital. A couple days. They should never have cut the water bag. Daniel O. Manning, the head of the fire department, wrote me a letter saying that he would tell the paramedics not to do stuff like that. I tried to get an attorney for a wrongful death, but no attorney would come. So on little Lillian's gravestone, I wrote, "Damn the river of tears, love, fight, and conquer." Those are my words on her gravestone over there near Burbank, somewhere over there, east of Burbank, at Forest Lawn. Rest in peace, my little sweetheart. You have your own little grave. Well, my son was born all right, though. There he is. That's something. Firstborn son. I have so many daughters. And I was so thrilled. I had a son. There he is. Thank you, Ann. Thank you so much. Thank you. Here's her driver's license. If she was here, I would kiss her so hard. I would hug her so hard. I love her so much. Thank you. I can only give you this rendition. It's a composition I made. I drew this to describe what happened. The fickle finger of fate. That's my hand. My left hand drew the right hand, but it demonstrates that something far away, something pointed at me as Earth was spinning. It pointed at me and it said, something's going to happen. And it did. There we were, innocent Ann and I, and Co-Dog and my mother. There we were, having children, in our beautiful camper. We had the Nebulous in the front, the Hornet in the back, the motorcycle of Ann. Then we bought this camper. I was still working at Everson Jennings, making a lot of money. Then I hurt my back. And we had the kids. We had the kids. And as I said, that fickle finger of fate pointed right at me. Someone framed me for a crime I didn't do in 1995. Ann went to the hospital, had a baby, Richard. She had to go in there under cesarean. I took her in. She was having pains. They had to give her a cesarean. She was bleeding in the emergency room on the chair. They said, rush her off, rush her off. They rushed her off, and they cut her open. They cut her open and brought Richard into the world. And after a few days, they let me bring him home. 30 days went by. They said he was in the hospital, that he had, sleep apnea. That his heart stopped. They had to resuscitate him. After 30 days, they let me bring him home. And we were in this camper, parked in front of our house on Beloit Avenue. When I called paramedics, I got up, and Richard wasn't breathing. So I ran over and called paramedics at the house, which was across the street. There were no cell phones back then. And I said, my baby's not breathing. They rolled out. They rolled out quickly. West Los Angeles Fire Department took the baby up, took the baby to the hospital. My mom was nearby, frantic. She was in the other camper. The Nebulous was still parked in a row. They were all parked in a row. Well, baby Richard lasted a couple days and died up there. And you know how people are. They suspect foul play always. See, when baby Lillian was born, I tried to sue. And they thought I was going to sue again. So I guess they just said, well, we're going to nip this in the bud. We're going to blame whoever we can so the finger of fate doesn't point at them. They got me. Bam! Framed for a crime I didn't do. I went away. Years passed. You wouldn't hear of Stephen Sanford for 7 more years. 7 long years for a crime that I did not do. God is my witness. I hope that God would strike down those who bear false witness against me. To lie about someone, to write things about someone, to say that I locked the doors. My little kids would try and go out in the hallway. Anne came back from the hospital. They cut her open. They cut her open, and she was on, what was she on? Some kind of pills, because she had cesarean. She was trying to sleep. I went to the hospital to visit Richard. And what happened? Cops broke the door, and they said, you locked the door. I said, I locked the door because the kids would go in the hallway at 1601 Beloit. They would go out and try to get into the clothes dryer. I didn't want that. They'd also try to go down the hallway and get in the freeway. So I put a padlock with a chain because Anne was asleep. She was zonked out because they gave her that pain stuff because she had a cesarean, but they wouldn't hear that. They said, I'm a madman, locking children in. There could have been a fire. There were ample windows to escape. Anne would have woken up. No. That finger of fate really nailed me, man. I got out years later, visited my children. There's Lynette on the right, all growing up. On the left is Eve, next to me is Sandra, and that striking young man in front of me is Jason. I'm still holding on. So I went from happiness, having 3 trucks, a van, a motorcycle, a car, a beautiful wife, beautiful children, a mother, an aunt. There's my Aunt Beatrice and my mom. There's my mom in the truck in the Nebulous. We went from happiness to years of sorrow. I got out, visited my children. My mother, they put in convalescent home. She came to live with me for a year and had chest pains and died. I took her to the hospital. They said, okay, we'll transport your mom. Did they? They took 12 and a half hours. That by the time I called, they said it took too long to get her in. I walked her into I was on Pico and Hill. There was a little clinic across from the California hospital there. By then it wasn't up to par, so it was just a little medical building. There was another hospital a mile away to the north, but it took them 12 and a half hours to get my mom there. It just gets sadder and sadder. I visited Lynette, went out to her house out there near Hemet, but she'd gotten married and had 2 kids of her own. Some Hispanic guy that I don't know what his opinion is, but they don't visit very much, and I wish they would. She knows where I live. I love you, Lynette. My kids don't call very much. Not as much as I wish they would. I guess people believe anything they hear about someone. I went to my daughter's graduation out there in the valley. I bought a car. Drove out there. Got a bad sunburn. I bought another little van. Had a stove in it. Then another truck. Just like those others I had, those big campers. Trying to rebuild myself. Keeping it in case my kids need it again. Like a little emergency shelter. Keeping it in case their opinion is ever wisened up. I have a picture around here of Lynette somewhere, but I just can't find it right now. A few more. They got lost when I went away. I'm sorry, Lynette. I had so many pictures of you. And I got all these pictures from my cousin just about a month ago. There's Sandra. There's Eve. There's Lynette in the middle. I just now got these pictures. I had a feeling something would happen to me. I swear to you, I told my cousin, hold these pictures, copies of them, in case something happens to me. And it did. My God. Of course, I know a pattern in this world now. I've seen it. Things don't go good for me. Every time I get up, something comes along and tears me down. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm going to look back at the old days when I built rockets. Who could I take my vengeance out on? A system that's gone awry and turned on me? Liars? People that frame me? Slander? Look at this. Want to see what happens when a rocket blows up? There it is. See the shrapnel? That's the rocket that Tracy and I have a photograph around here, I just can't find it. Tracy and I and Lynette, we went out when I was with Jeanette. We went out in the mountains and we detonated this rocket. Look close. That's an actual fragments of one of the rockets. It blew the wheels off. It was similar to this one. And it became that, twisted, burnt. I'm not going to say like my life has become, because I'm trying to rise above. I can easily rise above. It's hard, no, it's hard to rise above when you've been slandered. It's been hard, but I've done it anyway. I have another camper like this. I have a dog. My mom's gone now, but I'm still holding on. I met a new girl. We've been together for a few years now. I love her. I'd like to have more children, but I don't think she can. I would love to have more children. I told my kids, I'd like to have more kids. I hope they, understand that a father just loves children, loves to bring people into the world. I mean, they think I'm too old. But my sentiment is right. If I could meet a girl now, I'd probably marry her and do it again. I guess I would. I guess I would. No, the only true wealth, the only true gold in this world is your parents. Thanks, Mom. If there's any consolation, Dad, looking down from up there, I just want you to know that when you died in 1981, I missed you very, very much. I took a shirt that you gave me and I sat, I lit a candle and I put the shirt on that you gave me and I held another one that you gave me in my arms. I bid you farewell. And then, well, I'd say about 1988, your wife called me. Your new wife. She told me that your other son, Terrence, killed himself with a gun up in, what was that, Utah. And, Dad, I always thought that Terrence would grow up and have kids, because he could play the piano. And he was handsome. He looked like a very famous actor. A very famous actor. I won't say who. Yes, I will. He looked kind of like Robert Redford. That's what Terrence looked like. But when he was young. And I said I won't have to have kids, but I was going with Ann, and your wife called me up and said that Terrence was dead. So right there, I told Ann we have to have a baby. I have to carry on the Sanford name. I have to. It's my duty. It's a noble obligation. Noblesse oblige. That's what I told Ann. So that's when we had Sandra, and then Eve, and I said, "Oh, you got to change your." I told her you got to change your eating appetite or something. I said she was eating all these clams, clam chowder. Of course, she was from Boston, I think. So was my dad. No, Ann was from where? Up there near New York. Anyway, I said, you got to stop the chowder. I said, eat some grapes. And she ate some grapes, a lot. I bought her grapes and grapes. She got pregnant. She got pregnant. My God, she got pregnant a third time and had a son. So my obligation was fulfilled. So, Dad, no matter whatever happens to me now, if you're looking down from up there, you know the truth. God knows the truth. God knows.